he helped me to see.
An emotional Sheila, at a young age of 11, could not realize that she was losing her hearing ability when she would listen to loud music.
But my mom would call me or she would speak to me, and of course I wouldn't respond. And she thought I was being rude. She thought I was being a teenager. I was being rebellious. I would put the music on very loud or the TV, and she would ask me, "What's wrong with you? I'm calling you. Why can't you hear?"
Later, her mom realized that Sheila could only respond well when someone talked to her directly.
She's calling someone here to come.
After a visit to an ENT specialist, the doctor discovered a condition in Sheila's ear, otosclerosis, where one of the 3 small bones that connect to the eardrum to help amplify sound waves was unable to vibrate freely. The doctor then recommended that Sheila be fitted with a hearing aid.
The ENT specialist who checked my ear misdiagnosed. He said that I had fluid behind my eardrum. So first operation, and things didn't work out. It was a misdiagnosis. They discovered that I have otosclerosis. So what happened is I was given a hearing aid. And so I have a hearing aid, and I've had one for the last 40 plus years.
Sheila is excited after meeting her former lecturer at the university, Professor Michael Nduromo, during an auditory verbal parents group that brought together old and new parents of children with hearing impairment, speech therapists, audiologists, and doctors in the field of language in Ngong, Kajiado County.
He helped me to see that disability is not inability. And in many ways, he taught me sign language. He taught me to believe in myself.
Nduromo, the only deaf professor in East and Central Africa who teaches psychology with the aid of an interpreter at the University of Nairobi, says allowing deaf children to access education will improve their socialization models and eliminate some of the challenges that parents go through.
Parents are going through problems when they find out that their child is deaf. They do not know where to go. So they face challenges, but once they get the information and where to get an assessment, then it becomes easier for them. So I want to encourage parents to find a way to have their child assessed.
Experts, however, say lack of education and mentors has made parents of children with hearing loss unable to deal with the disability.
Early assessment and intervention and awareness is very important. Awareness on hearing loss, awareness on the causes of hearing loss, and the available intervention methods that are available.
Ruth Kinywa, a member of Auditory Verbal Therapy Parents in Kenya, says her son, Andrew, now 26, was able to gain language after acquiring education.
We never went to any special school. He has been in a mainstream school, and he has gained his education because he was able to talk.
Andrew was diagnosed with hearing problems at 2.5 years after visiting an audiologist who suggested that he be fitted with hearing aids.
I grew up not like I can't hear anything, but I got my first hearing aid.
Another big hurdle is doing a cochlear implant.
When you're told you get that cochlear implant, at that point your biggest challenge is that's a lot of money, because at the time, he's now 10, at the time the price was around 3.5 million for 1 year. And so I was wondering, my goodness, where will I get 3.5 million?
Catherine Wanjiku, a parent to a deaf child, says the disability has had some limitations and restrictions when it comes to education, where some schools are hesitant to admit such children as they are not well equipped.
You're going to around asking schools, can you admit my son? They're like, yes, please bring your son. But then when you mention what condition your child has, they're like, we are not sure, we are not equipped. I mean, what do you mean you're not equipped? Where do you want my son to go to school? So yes, he can go to a normal school, but he needs accommodations.
The Lugha Ishara Programs Coordinator, whose son, now 10 years, has advised parents with deaf children to accept, confront their biases and be comfortable and strong. Cyprian Akuka, a deaf-blind specialist teacher at Kitui Special School for the Deaf, says it should be a responsibility for everyone to understand children with special needs, sentiments echoed by Edith Mbaya, a long-time trainer for deaf children.
We don't want people to sit on information about deaf-blindness. We want everybody to know more about learners with deaf-blindness, and we have to embrace that inclusivity with the Vision 2030. All learners with special needs in education should be self-independent. They should get something to do. So all types of disabilities are able to attain something in life.
It's not an easy job because the parents come and say, now I've paid for the services. Why do you make me a teacher at home? It will not work without you parents.
Dr. Matthew Karia, a lecturer at Kenyatta University, feels that lack of education disability has hindered earlier intervention when a child is born deaf.
However, communication is very key, and not many people are aware of communication disability, and communication is vital.
Experts say not all children born with hearing impairment are candidates for cochlear implant, as before the process is done, the doctors analyze the type of hearing loss and the degree.
Very, very wonderful.
In 2018, Kenya made progress by incorporating ear screening services amongst newborns for early diagnosis in order to prevent debilitating complications.
She's calling someone here to come.
However, with the increased trend in noise pollution, medics say more than 600,000 Kenyans cannot hear properly, and many more might lose their sense of hearing. For K24 Weekend Edition, I am Electen Odera.